Driving license in the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom, a driving license is the official document which authorizes its holder to operate motor vehicles on highways and other public roads. It is administered in England, Scotland, and Wales by the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency DVLA and in Northern Ireland by the Driver and Vehicle Agency DVA. A driving license is required in England, Scotland, and Wales for any person driving a vehicle on any highway or other road, as defined in S. 192 Road Traffic Act 1988, irrespective of the ownership of the land over which the road passes. Similar requirements apply in Northern Ireland under the Road Traffic Northern Ireland Order 1981. Prior to the UK leaving the European Union on 31 January 2020 and during the transition period which ended on 31 December 2020, a UK driving license was a European driving license, adhering to Directive 2006/126/EC and valid throughout the European Economic Area. A new updated design has been issued from January 2021, now simply reading UK in larger blue letters, where the EU flag with the circle of stars surrounding the UK code used to be. Since July 2015, all GB driving license photocards issued by the DVLA have displayed the Union Jack flag on the front of the driving license. This does not apply to driving licenses issued by the DVA in Northern Ireland. As UK nationals do not normally have identity cards, a photographic driving license can serve many of the purposes of an identity card in non-driving contexts, such as proof of identity e.g. when opening a bank account, or of age e.g. when buying age-restricted goods such as alcohol or tobacco. Regulations. Provisional licenses and learner drivers. Applications for a provisional driving license can be made in Great Britain from the age of 15 years and 9 months, and in Northern Ireland from 16 years and 10 months. Once a United Kingdom driving test has been passed, the driving license is valid for driving a moped or light quad bike from age 16, and a car from age 17 or 16 for those who receive, or have applied for, the higher or enhanced rate of the mobility component of PIP or DLA. A driving test consists of 3 sections: theory, hazard perception, and a supervised driving examination. Till this test has been passed, a driver may hold only a provisional license and is subject to certain conditions. The conditions attached to provisional licenses for a particular category of vehicle are: L plates, or in Wales only D plates Welsh Disgwyr. Learner must be conspicuously displayed on the front and rear of the vehicle. Learner drivers of a particular category and transmission type of vehicle must be accompanied by somebody aged 21 or above who has held a full driving license for that category and transmission type for at least 3 years, except in the case of solo motorcycles and vehicles of certain categories designed solely for one person. No trailer may be towed, except when driving a tractor, or where a full license gives provisional entitlement to drive a car with trailer, large goods vehicle with trailer, or passenger carrying vehicle with trailer. Motorcycle riders must not carry any pillion passengers. Coach or bus drivers must not carry any passenger except a person giving or receiving instruction. Motorways must not be used by holders of car and motorcycle provisional licenses, excluding Category B car license holders who are learner drivers for the purposes of the trailer Category B, or unless supervised by an approved driving instructor in a car fitted with dual controls. In Northern Ireland, learner drivers are limited to a speed of 45 mph 72 km/h and are not permitted on motorways regardless of whether or not they are under instruction by an ADI-approved driving instructor, and drivers who have passed their test within the previous year must display R plates restricted, and are also limited to a maximum speed of 45 mph 72 km/h until the expiry of the restricted period. R plates are similar in style to L plates, with a thick-set dark orange are displayed on a white background, and most L plates have the orange R on the reverse side. After passing a driving test, the provisional license may be surrendered within 2 years in exchange for a full UK license for the relevant kind of vehicle. Full car licenses allow use of mopeds and motorcycles provided a CBT compulsory basic training course is completed. The requirement to have a CBT in Northern Ireland was introduced on 21 February 2011. Newly qualified drivers. There are currently no restrictions on newly qualified drivers in England, Wales, or Scotland. However, if a newly qualified driver receives 6 penalty points within 2 years of passing, the license is automatically revoked and the driver must pass the full test again. This also applies in Northern Ireland. These 6 points remain on the new license till their designated expiry time. In Northern Ireland, new drivers must display orange R plates for 1 year after passing the test and are limited to a maximum speed of 45 mph. In the Isle of Man, a UK Crown dependency, new drivers must display R plates similar to those in Northern Ireland, but red, for 1 year after passing the test and are limited to a maximum speed of 50 mph. Towing restrictions. The rules on what a driver can tow are different depending on when they passed their driving test. If they passed their car driving test on or after 1 January 1997, they may drive a car or van up to 3,500 kg maximum authorized mass MAM, towing a trailer of up to 750 kg MAM, and they may tow a trailer over 750 kg MAM as long as the combined MAM of the trailer and towing vehicle is no more than 3,500 kg MAM when loaded. They must pass the car and trailer driving test to tow anything heavier. If a driver passed their car test before 1 January 1997, they are usually allowed to drive a vehicle and trailer combination up to 8,250 kg MAM. They are also allowed to drive a minibus with a trailer over 750 kg MAM. Other regulations. Motor car licenses issued in the United Kingdom distinguish between automatic and manual transmission vehicles, depending on whether or not a driving test was passed in a vehicle with manual transmission, unless a vehicle test was taken in the UK before such distinction was made. While a manual transmission vehicle license permits the holder to drive a vehicle of either kind, an automatic transmission vehicle license is solely for vehicles with automatic transmission. The license also shows whether a driver requires glasses or contact lenses to meet the legal driving requirements, if known. Drivers who obtained rights to drive Category Done minibuses before 1997 by passing a test for the obsolete Class A must not drive such vehicles for hire or reward, nor accept any form of payment in money, goods, or kind from any passengers carried. There is no maximum age for driving or holding a driving license, but holders must renew their licenses at age 70 and every 3 years thereafter, at which times they must self-certify their continued fitness to drive. History. Driver registration was introduced in 1903 with the Motor Car Act. Holders of the sulfur yellow-colored document were entitled to drive a motor car or motorcycle. The wording was changed in 1930, after which holders were allowed to drive or steer a motor car or to drive a motorcycle. Shortly afterwards, the document cover was changed to a dark red color. Holders were for a period entitled to drive a vehicle of any class or description. Subsequent changes saw the document list precisely those vehicle types for which holders were licensed. Competency tests were introduced by the Motor Vehicles Regulations 1935, applicable to all drivers who started driving after 1 April 1934. Competency tests were suspended in 1939 for 7 years due to the Second World War, and in 1956 for 1 year due to the Suez Crisis. The only person in the United Kingdom who is not required to have a driving license in order to drive is the Queen. Until 1973, driving licenses and tax discs were issued by local authorities and had to be renewed every 3 years. In 1971, the decision was taken to computerize the licensing system to enable it to be linked to the police national computer and to extend the life of the license up to the driver's 70th birthday, extendable at intervals thereafter provided the driver can prove fitness. Except for Northern Ireland, driving licenses issued before July 1998 did not have photographs on them. Anyone who holds a license issued before this date may retain their photo-less license until expiry, normally one's 70th birthday, or until they change address, whichever comes sooner. The new plastic photocard driving licenses have to be renewed every 10 years for a fee. Until 2015, the license consisted of both the photocard and a paper counterpart which detailed the individual's driving entitlements and convictions endorsements. The counterpart was abolished on 8 June 2015, and the information formerly recorded on it is now available online via the View Driving License service, except in Northern Ireland, where the counterpart must be kept with the photocard. Licenses issued to residents of England, Northern Ireland, and Scotland appear only in English, while those issued to residents of Wales appear in both English and Welsh. The Union Jack flag has been included on GB licenses since July 2015, but not on Northern Ireland licenses. The distinguishing sign of the United Kingdom is GB. The allocation of codes is maintained by the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, authorized by the UN Geneva Convention on Road Traffic and the Vienna Convention on Road Traffic. The UK is party to both conventions and shall hence issue licenses in conformity with the conventions. Annex 9 of the Geneva Convention states that the distinguishing sign GB shall be inscribed in an oval. According to the Vienna Convention, Article 43, domestic licenses have to comply with Annex 6, which says that driving licenses shall include the name and / or the distinguishing sign of the country which issued the permit. UK licenses did include the GB distinguishing code until 1990. In Directive 91/439/EC, which EU member states had to implement before 1 July 1994, the UK had to include the emblem of the EU with the code UK instead of GB encircled by an ellipse on the front page. As the UK has subsequently withdrawn from the EU flag is no longer featured on UK driving licenses issued after the transition period ended on 31 December 2020. The GB code or the ellipse from the aforementioned conventions have not been reintroduced. The licenses now simply reads UK in larger blue letters, where the EU flag with the circle of stars surrounding the UK code used to be. Driver numbers. Each license holder in England, Scotland, and Wales has a unique driver number, which is 16 characters long. The characters are constructed in the following way. 1-5. The first 5 characters of the surname padded with 9s if fewer than 5 characters. For surnames beginning with MAC, they are treated as MC for all. 6. The decade digit from the year of birth, e.g. for 1987 it would be 8. 7-8. The month of birth, in 2-digit format. 7th character is incremented by 5. The driver is female, i.e. 5162 instead of 112. 9-10. the date within the month of birth in two-digit format, i.e. 131. 11. The year digit from the year of birth, e.g. for 1987 it would be 7. 12. 13. The first two initials of the first names, padded with a 9 if no middle name. 14. Arbitrary digit, usually 9, but decremented to differentiate drivers with the first 13 characters in common. 15. 16. Two computer check digits. 17. 18. Two digits representing the license issue, which increases by 1 for each license issued. Each Northern Ireland license holder has a unique driver number which is 8 characters long. The characters are not constructed in any particular pattern. Brexit. The UK left the EU on 31 January 2020, starting an 11-month transition period, which terminated on 31 December 2020 in accordance with the withdrawal agreement. EU law continued to apply to the UK during the transition period, and hence UK driving licenses were valid in the EA and vice versa until 31 December 2020. UK license holders living in the EU were advised to exchange their UK driving license for a local one before the transition period ended. The EU flag was removed from UK driving licenses when the transition period ended. From 1 January 2021, with some exceptions, UK licenses holders can use their driving license when visiting EEA countries. International driving permits might be needed in some cases, and depending on which convention the country in question has ratified, a 1949 Geneva Convention on Road Traffic IDP might be required in some countries, and a 1968 Vienna Convention on Road Traffic IDP in others. However, none of the EEA countries currently require IDP for visitors staying shorter than 12 months. EEA countries are no longer obligated to recognize and exchange UK licenses if the holder moves to EEA countries, except if the UK has agreed a bilateral agreement with the country. European driving licenses are recognized by the UK if the driving test was passed in an EU/EEA country, and can be used both if the holder is visiting or residing in the country. They can also be exchanged for a UK both GB and NI license. Driving license categories. Current categories. This is a list of the categories that might be found on a driving license in the United Kingdom. Notes. Obsolete goods classes. Although the category system was changed over 20 years ago, 1 January 1997, the freight industry and driver recruitment agencies still predominantly use the obsolete class numbers for the entitlement of HGV drivers. The two systems are not exactly compatible, so the descriptions given are only a guideline. Class 1, any goods vehicle over 71/2 long tons 7,620 kg with any trailer. Class 2, any rigid goods vehicle over 71/2 long tons. Class 3, any rigid goods vehicle over 71/2 long tons with no more than 2 axles. Points and endorsements. The UK uses a cumulative points system for driving offences. Points are added for driving offences by law courts, or where the driver accepts a fixed penalty in lieu of prosecution, and the license is endorsed accordingly. A UK driving license may be endorsed for various offences, not only for those committed while driving or in charge of a vehicle. If the individual committing the offence does not hold a valid driver's license, the endorsements may be put by until a license is held. Most endorsements remain valid for 4 years. Some, such as driving under the influence, are recorded on the license for 11 years, because more severe penalties apply to those convicted twice within 10 years of drink or drug driving offenses. 12 points on the license within 3 years makes the driver liable to disqualification under the totting up procedure. However, this is not automatic and must be decided on by a court of law. Endorsements remain on the license for 1 year longer than their validity 3 or 10 years because a court can consider points awarded even though they are not valid for totting up. Driving license codes. Certain codes are included on driving licenses to indicate restrictions on use. These codes are listed on the back of the card under the column headed 12 codes and are listed for each category that is licensed. As long as the UK remained within the EU, the codes 199 were the same as in the rest of the EU, harmonized by Directive 2006/126/EC. The codes and their meanings are as follows. 1. Eyesight correction. 2. Hearing/communication aid. 10. Modified transmission. 15. Modified clutch. 20. Modified braking systems. 25. Modified accelerator systems. 30. Combined braking and accelerator systems licenses issued before 28 November 2016. 31. Pedal adaptations and pedal safeguards. 32. Combined service brake and accelerator systems. 33. Combined service brake, accelerator, and steering systems. 35. Modified control layouts. 40. Modified steering. 42. Modified rear view mirrors. 43. Modified driving seats. 44. Modifications to motorcycles. 44. 1 single operated brake. 44. 2 adjusted hand operated brake front wheel. 44. 3 adjusted foot operated brake back wheel. 44. 4 adjusted accelerator handle. 44. 5 adjusted manual transmission and manual clutch. 44. 6 adjusted rear view mirrors. 44. 7 adjusted commands, direction indicators, braking light, etc. 44. 8 seat height, allowing the driver in sitting position to have 2 feet on the road at the same time. 45. Motorcycles only with sidecar. 46. Tricycles only for licenses issued before 29 June 2014. 70. Exchange of license. 71. Duplicate of license. 78. Restricted to vehicles with automatic transmission. 79. Restricted to vehicles in conformity with the specifications stated in brackets on the license. 79. 2. Restricted to Category AM vehicles of the 3-wheel or light quadricycle type. 79. 3. Restricted to tricycles. 96. Allowed to drive a vehicle and trailer where the trailer weighs at least 750 kg, and the combined weight of the vehicle and trailer is between 3,500 kg and 4,250 kg. 97. Not allowed to drive category cone vehicles which are required to have a tachograph fitted. 101. Not for hire or reward, that is, not to make a profit. 102. Drawbar trailers only. 103. Subject to certificate of competence. 105. Vehicle not more than 5 meters long. 106. Restricted to vehicles with automatic transmissions. 107. Not more than 8,250 kilograms. 108. Subject to minimum age requirements. 110. Limited to transporting persons with restricted mobility. 111. Limited to 16 passenger seats. 113. Limited to 16 passenger seats except for automatics. 114. With any special controls required for safe driving. 115. Organ donor. 118. Start date is for earliest entitlement. 119. Weight limits for vehicle does not apply. 121. Restricted to conditions specified in the Secretary of State's notice. 122. Valid on successful completion, basic moped training course. 125. Tricycles only for licenses issued before 29 June 2014. Use as proof of identity. Identity cards for UK nationals were introduced in 2009 on a voluntary basis, and the attempt to introduce a nationwide identity card scheme in 2010 was reversed mid-course. Its in-progress database was halted and then destroyed. Only workers in certain high-security professions, such as airport workers, were required to have an identity card in 2009, and this remains the case today. Therefore, driving licenses, particularly the photocard driving license introduced in 1998, along with passports, are the most widely used ID documents in the United Kingdom. Most people do not carry their passports with them. This leaves driving licenses as the only valid form of ID to be presented. In day-to-day life, there is no legal requirement to carry identification whilst driving or otherwise, and most authorities do not arbitrarily ask for identification from individuals. Non-professional drivers are not legally obliged to carry a driving license while driving, but Section 164 of the Road Traffic Act 1998 allows a police officer require a driver to produce a driving license within 7 days at a police station chosen by the driver. The form which was once issued in such circumstances, the HO/RT1, was known colloquially as a producer, as exemplified in Smiley Culture's hit single Police Officer. Exchange agreements. Great Britain has an exchange agreement with 17 designated countries/regions, which allows the holder of a foreign driving license who is deemed to be resident in the UK to exchange it for a British license. To do this, the holder must send the license, a translation thereof if required, an application form, and a fee to the DVLA or DVA for Northern Ireland. The countries/regions are Andorra, Australia, Barbados, British Virgin Islands, Canada, Falkland Islands, Faroe Islands, Gibraltar, Hong Kong, Japan, Monaco, New Zealand, Republic of Korea, Singapore, South Africa, Switzerland, and Zimbabwe. The UK and Ireland have signed a bilateral agreement allowing those holding UK driving license and living in Ireland to continue to be able to swap for an Irish license. The UK and Norway have agreed will continue existing arrangements for mutual recognition and exchange of driving licenses.